I'll never forget the day Madison nearly destroyed what was supposed to be the happiest moment of my life. We'd hired her based on glowing recommendations, but from the moment she arrived, something felt terribly wrong. She showed up almost 3 hours before our ceremony was scheduled to begin. When I walked into the reception hall to check on last-minute details, I found her completely rearranging everything we'd spent months planning. Tables had been moved. Our carefully placed centerpieces were in different positions. She was directing the florist to redo the boutonnieres because they weren't working with her vision. When my best friend Sarah gently asked what was happening, Madison barely looked up. I photographed over 200 weddings. Trust me, I know what creates stunning images. Then she gathered my bridesmaids and informed them their lipstick choices were completely wrong. The shade would clash with her signature editing palette, and they needed to change immediately. My friends stood there in shock, looking at me for guidance, but I felt frozen. When she approached me about my dress, I thought surely she was joking. My grandmother's vintage lace gown, the one I'd dreamed of wearing since childhood, apparently didn't photograph well with her equipment. She suggested I consider changing into something more modern. I managed to find my voice then and told her absolutely not, but the damage to my confidence was already done. The ceremony itself became a nightmare. While our pastor spoke, Madison walked directly in front of the altar, blocking half our guests' view, her camera clicking constantly. When we reached our vows, she actually interrupted. Twice. First to tell me I needed to speak louder, then to instruct me on exactly how to hold my bouquet for optimal angles. My husband and I exchanged glances, both too stunned to know how to respond. This was supposed to be our moment, but somehow it had become her production. The reception brought an entirely new level of chaos. I'd spent countless evenings creating the perfect playlist, songs that meant something to us. When those familiar opening notes started playing, I finally felt myself beginning to relax. Our guests were smiling, singing along, and the atmosphere was exactly what we'd imagined. Then Madison marched over to the DJ booth. Within seconds, the music stopped abruptly mid-song. She wanted only classical instrumentals. The vocals were too distracting from her visual narrative. I watched in disbelief as our carefully chosen soundtrack was dismissed as if it meant nothing. My grandfather, 85 years old and so proud to give his toast, waited patiently while she adjusted lights and repositioned equipment for 20 minutes. I could see the exhaustion in his face, but he never complained. When time came to cut our cake, she physically positioned us like mannequins. Stand here. Angle your body this way. Hold the knife exactly like this. Now smile. No, not like that. It felt mechanical and cold, nothing like the joyful moment we'd anticipated. During family photos, she had the audacity to criticize my new mother-in-law's outfit. The pattern was too busy for her composition. Did she have something else she could change into? The hurt on my mother-in-law's face was unmistakable. But the moment that changed everything came during our first dance. We were finally in each other's arms, moving to a song that had been special to us since our very first date. Then the music stopped. Madison's voice rang out across the entire reception hall. We need to redo this. His posture is terrible and she looks completely stiff. Everyone stay where you are. My husband looked at me, and I saw something shift in his expression. He turned to face her and said clearly, "This is our wedding, not your photo shoot." She actually rolled her eyes. "If you want mediocre photos, that's your choice. But I won't attach my name to subpar work." My father, who'd been watching the situation escalate all evening, walked over calmly. He took her camera and said simply, "You're fired. Please leave." Madison's face flushed red. She demanded full payment, claiming she'd already invested significant time and creative energy. My father handed back her business card. "Sue me if you feel that's necessary." That's when she made her biggest mistake. She threatened to delete every single photo she'd taken. The smirk on her face suggested she thought she had leverage. My cousin Derek, who works in tech and had been quietly observing everything, smiled. "That's interesting because I've been backing everything up to cloud storage all day." The color drained from Madison's face. Derek held up his laptop screen, showing hundreds of images already safely stored. "Don't worry, we captured everything." She demanded to know who gave him permission. Derek shrugged. "You left your camera connected to the venue's Wi-Fi with automatic upload enabled. Basic security oversight." Madison stood in the middle of our reception, arguing about artistic vision, while 150 guests watched in uncomfortable silence.